All right, so this is my daily update, and today is day two of my 10-day startup challenge. Um, and for those of you who don't know, I've tasked myself with the very daunting task of creating a startup within 10 days. Now, day one was in and around ideation, um, coming up with a concept, coming up with ideas, just theory, right? And I'm just trying to get my head around what it is that I want to achieve, um, yeah, how I'm gonna achieve it, and how I'm gonna use all that is at my disposal because there's an element of resource allocation to it. So how am I gonna use all that I have right now at my disposal to create a meaningful impact? So the ideation process for me, it was very strenuous because for one, I wanted to come up with something that's, for one, high impact. So, two, it's a social benefit, right? I wanted to get people involved in this. I wanted to get people involved in this. I wanted to give people a sense of renewed vigor, right? A sense of excitement about what is to come. Number three, it has to be scalable. And the reason for that is because I believe in scalable businesses. There are some solutions which don't really go far, not necessarily because they can't, well, yeah, more or less, but because the mechanisms in place don't allow it to grow at the rate at which it should. So a lot of businesses end up just being stunted businesses purely because the the conceptualization of it does not allow it to do so. And that's well and fine. That's well and fine. But for me, it's not of my taste. Um, I'm a fan of exponential businesses. I love reading about companies which literally started with very small means and just shot straight for the moon. So, your moonshots, your unicorns, those are the companies which excite me. And I've always had a dream of actually having one of my own. But for the time being, right, um, when I was conceptualizing this, I wanted it to touch on all of those key points, um, with the core being that it has to address a problem. It has to address a sizable problem, a really real problem. And the problem that I chose, purely because I've been doing this for a while now. I've been advocating for food security for a while, since in and around maybe late 2018. If you were to go to my YouTube, you'll find that um, I've had some, I don't know, what can I say? To some degree, some trials, um, and yeah, and right now, what I can say is, um, it's a real problem. Food security is a real problem right now. I'm in Zimbabwe, and Zimbabwe has been declared. The president actually declared a state of emergency, and what that means is food prices are gonna go up rapidly. Food prices, a lot of people are gonna starve. It's a real problem. It's a real problem, and it poses a real threat, and it should not be taken lightly, because it is not necessarily of, what can I say? People didn't engineer this. We're going through something called El Nino, so it's inducing a drought, um, on the entire southern hemisphere of Africa. So I wanted to address this problem, but for number one, Yeah, number one, this problem it's massive. So it's exciting for me. It's very exciting. So I'm gonna try and as much as possible to create a solution, which is day two for me. Um, it's about day two for me is about actually coming up with a minimal viable product, and so far so good. I've tested out a couple of AI solutions, trying to come up with a product, and the concept that I chose, well, I wanted to create an entertainment product. The reason for that is because social media right now, um, is how most people consume information. So I wanted to use this as a vehicle to create meaningful impact. AI, is going to be my weapon of choice. And the reason for that is because, believe it or not, and I know a lot of people are skeptical about this, but we are at the beginning of an AI revolution. If at all you've ever interacted with these platforms before, you would realize that this is revolutionary technology. If I've ever seen revolutionary technology, this is it. I'm one person who's has his ear to the ground. I often notice things before they happen. I was there in the dawn of, what can I say? When e-commerce was going global, your Shopify's and your, what do you call it? Etsy's of the world were still startups. I was there. Um, I kept my ear to the ground. I was very, very, very interested in what it is that's happening. I was there when digital marketing became a thing. I actually started in my home country. I actually started one of the very first digital marketing companies. Um, Bitcoin, when it started, I was there. The excitement was real. Bitcoin, the excitement was real. I was a part of. I actually joined a Bitcoin hub called Satoshi Center. I don't know if it's still there, but because we've lost touch, but it was in Botswana at the time, and it was a real experience. It was a real experience. You could literally see how life changing this technology was. So, artificial intelligence for the next foreseeable future, probably in the next 5 to 10 years or so, is going to be a game changer, and I want to utilize it as best as possible. So, I'm going to try and as much as possible to create products aligned with artificial intelligence, aligned with food security, and coming up with solutions as to how I'm going to um, create this. Now, as I wanted to note something. It's really really important that I actually created the 10-day plan off of AI. I'm just literally following instructions. Though it has made a disclaimer that it's highly ambitious, but I'm an ambitious person. I believe in myself. I believe in my capabilities. So let's see how it's gonna work. So stay tuned. I'm really excited to see how this will turn out in 10 days. So, all right, that'll be all for today. Stay blessed. Cheers.